So that's the business we're in. The woman who's really smart about this, though, I'm going to introduce right now, Dr. Peg Meyer. I brought two wonderful people with me. She is the director of this. She has her doctoral degree from University of Vermont, which is a quiet little school up in Vermont, a little north of us. We're the really hotbed of stuff going on in Vermont, Norwich University, but it's a great school. She's been with us 6 years. We've been on this path of making resilient leaders for 4, and she's an awesome person. I'd like you to welcome her now, Dr. Dr. Peg Meyer.
We've heard the story, and we can get on to the slides. The next 6 slides, thank you, I am short. The next 6 slides are going to show the results of the first year of this study. I think you'll see, as President Schneider said, we got our 60 in a drop-dead minute. We did have rebellion with our control group. They were so important, and we did acknowledge their importance at the end. But I would like to show you what we did for the first year, and we are replicating it again this year. Slide 1. This slide shows through a number of subjective questionnaires. This particular slide is there around trait anxiety. As you can see, both the control group as well as the TM group started at about the same point. But as you can see, after 6 months, the TM group had far less trait anxiety, and that's that anxiety that's inside of us, type A personalities. So this showed a difference. Next slide. Here we see a decrease in depression. The effect size of this is pretty astounding. And we saw it starting at 2 months. After just 8 weeks of meditation, we started to see a difference. Slide 3. Decrease in perceived stress. This is there was a highly significant decrease after 6 months, but again, we saw changes right away after 2 months. Slide 4. The decrease in mood disturbance. Here again, the decrease was significant at both the 2 and 6 month level. These are really stunning results. These are quite astounding. And our last constructive thinking slide is next. Here we see an increased ability for constructive thinking. And if you think about constructive thinking, it's where your brain synthesizes and comes up with creative solutions. Kind of useful for college students, certainly useful for military under stress. And again, we saw a very statistically significant difference and a statistically significant improvement. Next slide. This one is interesting. This is the same measure that the Army uses for its special operations, and it's a determinant as to the success of a young man or woman who is going into Spec Ops. The resilience, again, both started the same, and they actually were very replicable of the Scandinavian and the other military young men and women in the U.S. military. But again, very quickly, we saw a huge shift in increase in resilience. This, again, is a really stunning example of how TM, after a very brief period of time, has made a huge difference. My takeaway, I was watching this, and this is not exactly what I had written down, but I watched the first video, which I've seen a number of times, and I know those men and women. I know some of them are in our services right now. And I get a little choked because I know they're doing well because of some of this. So as someone who both teaches and carries on a lot of the student support, academic support for students, my first goal with this is to give our young men and women the very best we could, to get them strong, to get them whole, to get them as smart as they can be. And I think TM right now is one of those elements. The second one is ultimately, even after 4 years, and the ultimate purpose of any 4-year college experience is to send them out better prepared for the world. At Norwich, we have civilian students, we have military students. We want to send both out best able to deal with the world and move forward as successful citizens. I think TM right now is showing it as a very important element in all of this. Thank you very much. Now, you're very welcome.